It's the evening of April 3rd, 2020 in Atlanta, Georgia, as the coronavirus pandemic starts to affect more of the United States. Amtrak's Crescent Train 20 arrives in Atlanta, crossing the CSX at Howell Tower with reduced passenger service. Instead of their normal consist, they only had 2 coach cars, a cafe car, the Springfield Heritage Dining Car, and 2 sleeper cars with them today. This was affected by COVID-19, as everyone was requested to quarantine at home, with the exception of essential workers like myself. Once Amtrak cleared the diamond, CSX gave a signal indication to train Z918. This is the NS transfer job out of East Point from Industry Yard to CSX's Howell Yard turn, powered by NS SD33 Eco 6217, and an interesting load of mixed manifest behind them. Moving on to April 7th, I await for a crew at 10th Street when I see NS Train 175 speeding past King Plow heading for Macon, Georgia. Note the yard slug set last out in their power consist. Then, after getting off from work, I arrive at CP Bridge, where NS 265 is seen just departing Inman Yard. They are heading for Austell to pick up the rest of their train at Whitaker Yard. Not to mention, too, the lengthy power consist. .265 is a BNSF train that originates here in Atlanta. They run across Norfolk Southern System to Memphis, Tennessee, where it would then be handed over to BNSF bound for Los Angeles. Ten minutes later comes NS 232, fresh out of Austell, as they enter Inman to pick up the rest of their train before proceeding south towards Savannah. next morning, I'm waiting to pick up a crew at Howell Tower as Amtrak 19, the westbound crescent, crosses the diamonds heading westbound towards Birmingham. Hopping over to CP Bridge again, NS23N departs Inman with UP C44 ACCTE 6041 at the lead. I had originally came here with hopes of catching train 175 with the Southern Heritage Unit leading, but I had just missed it. I then hopped over to CP Spring in downtown Atlanta, catching train 177 muscling south. As they head south on the South District, train P51 rolls past them heading north coming off of the Griffin District. This is the Chamblee to East Point turn job. Unfortunately for me, there was no luck at getting the Southern Heritage. But now, skipping ahead all the way to April 16th, I got word of a military train heading south on the W&A subdivision. Catching them here in Kennesaw, they slowly move around the curve as they head for Charleston, South Carolina. As I was focused on getting the pictures, I forgot that my video camera was zoomed in. But still, I think this came out pretty good. So that I could make up for my user error, I went for Marietta to get W834 again, but with a little more speed this time. NS Train 222 is seen departing Inman Yard on April 19th, heading towards the Greenville District with NS 8000 on the point, the first of many in the ES-44AC engine fleet. On April 21st, CSX train G108 departs Howell Tower just after getting a fresh crew heading towards Holsey Yard to connect onto the park line at Kirkwood. Engine number 5327 was at the lead, representing as the Western Maryland Sticker Unit. Now switch gears from a crisp, clear day to a pretty wet morning on April 23rd. We're on the CSX XXB mainline as train Q610 had just received a fresh crew at Red Oak. I had just dropped off the crew while I waited for them to pass by the Rock Hill Road grade crossing. Later that afternoon, the rain continues to fall as I went all the way to the CSX Etowah subdivision to catch two coal trains that was just combined together in Atlanta. Train U-736 would take charge up front, running out of Charleston, South Carolina, and U-738 would be behind, running out of Calera, Alabama. Both trains are bound for Corbin, Kentucky. chased U-736 north all the way to the small town of Ranger, Georgia. They had a little more speed in them this time, and thankfully, the rain let up to where I didn't need the umbrella.
Number 97861. 97861. Days 805, 23 of the 20th. Milepost C 421.6. T722 with the engine 3030 land on the copy. Circle line 18. Everett, Maine, south direction. From the NAS Bowen, Cartersville sub on the main. To the switch at Stratton on the main. JRSO.
In the process of chasing U-736 north, they met a T-700, a southbound loaded coal train heading for Stylesboro, Georgia. My friend John Chapman and I were both heading back south as the AC dispatcher came over the radio, giving them an EC1 to enter the Cartersville subdivision.
That's all correct. 1635 JRSO. 1635. I don't believe so. No, in fact, I know it don't, guys, because they're going to call it a crew for that other one to get dumped later tonight. So I was going to ask you guys, you need to ride back to Etowah. Where are you guys going to? Should be S1, guys. Give me 1 second. I'll take a quick look. Yeah, it'll be S1, oh. Yeah, no, I'll set it up right now for you guys. And as soon as he gets a little further forward, I'll call you again and get some more territorial. Your best dispatcher.
By the time we got back to Cartersville, they were just hitting the W&A K&AY before reaching Bowen Y, heading for the Cartersville sub. They prepared to hit Bowen Y, we hit the first grade crossing on the OJG track, running about just shy of 3 miles between here and Stratton. We had to quickly move locations again so that we didn't get blocked by the train as they approached the Stratton switch. The AC dispatcher gave them more track to Plant Bowen.
All right, guys. Come to C1 number 97880. 97880. Today's 804, 23 of the 20th. Milepost OJG 1.0. T722 with that 3030. Land on the copy. Circle line 1A. Elkhart, Main, south direction. And the switch is Stratton on the main. To the Milepost SGC 633.0 on the main. JRSO.
I understand EC1 number 97880. Today's 8/4/2320. Location OJG 1.0 for train T722. Engine CSX 3030 at GJ Lincoln. Circle line 1A, operate main track, south direction from the switch at Stratton main track to the SGC 633.0 main track at JRSO.
That's all correct, guys. 1657 JRSO.
1657 JRS, appreciate it.
All right, guys. Talk to you in a bit. It's dispatch out.
We set up at Ladd's, the last place we can shoot a coal train before reaching Plant Bowen. They got a little more speed in once they got their train on the main line. Switching over to a much drier day on April 27th, NS Train 213 arrives into Atlanta, completing its journey from Rutherford, Pennsylvania. I got my redemption with NS 8099, the Southern Heritage Unit, on the point after missing it weeks prior. On the evening of April 28th, I had just gotten off work and went all the way to Emerson, catching train C710, intermodal out of Fairburn, heading for the Appalachian Regional Port in Chatsworth. still calling myself crazy coming out in the middle of the night just to put eyes on CSX train Q542, which had ST70AH 8905 on the point. Yeah, that must have been the reason. With my video lights set up, I lit up the tracks as best I could as they start heading north towards Etowah, Tennessee, after working Wyvern Yard in Cartersville. I then chased them up to Ranger, again in pitch black darkness, catching them at speed. C710 would follow behind them only 15 minutes apart from each other. Listen as they break the silence in the North Georgia mountains. that's going to do it for the train catches in April. But stay tuned for some special outings that occurred during the month coming out soon. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to enable that notification bell to be the first to watch my new videos. See y'all next time from Ranger, Georgia at Milepost OOC 398.1 along CSX's Etowah subdivision.